Sorry I haven't been putting much content on the CRP channel, but the fact of the matter is I'm putting the content that I would have put on the CRP channel into my Patreon. The link is in the description below. And the reason I'm doing so is because, see, if I put any kind of controversial content on the CRP channel, I'm going to get banned. So, what's the point of that? I mean, I'm figuring that eventually YouTube is going to ban my channel and the controversial content that I have put up here is going to be gone. And so that's why I have the Patreon. So I could do Patreon content to my supporters there, and the content will remain. It won't get banned by YouTube. So anyway, that's the reason. Now this video is about quiet girls, my Achilles heel. Beware of quiet girls. You know the girls I'm talking about, right? There are these cute little things, a lot of times they don't wear much makeup, and a lot of times they sort of go out of their way not to draw attention to themselves. But they're very cute, and they're very quiet, and you think to yourself, oh man, all kinds of deep thoughts must be going on behind that pretty little face of hers. Oh yeah, that's what I used to think all the time. Okay, when I was young especially, and not so young, quite frankly. The quiet girl was my Achilles heel. The quiet girl was just my Helen of Troy. Yeah. And I dated a whole bunch of quiet girls over the years. And the thing is, see, I never learned my lesson, okay? Because these quiet girls, they were so quiet, so adorable, yeah? And I thought to myself, man, they must be really deep, right? They must have like these really deep, deep thoughts, right? Right? Wrong! Wrong! Quiet girls were quiet because they didn't have anything to say. Quiet girls were quiet because a lot of times they were kind of brain dead. Even the girls that did well at school. I mean, I remember there was one girl, I was in like middle school in the United States, like in Miami, I think I was. And yeah, Miami. And she was so quiet, and she was in my advanced math class, She was like a big brain. She got like really good grades, right? And I was convinced that she must be so profound, so deep, right? And I started like dating her, like trying to and talk to her. And it's only now, retrospectively, remembering those conversations that I had with her, that I realized that she was just as empty as a bell. Oh yeah. Yeah, and this went on in high school, after high school, in college, when I was a young guy out in Los Angeles and then later in New York. I'd always go for the quiet girl. I'd always go for the wallflower, thinking that there was so much there. And I just didn't understand that a lot of times a girl is quiet because there's nothing going on upstairs. Notice, I'm not saying that she's stupid, okay? I'm saying that they don't have much of an interior life. In my own case, I have a very rich interior life. I've always thought to myself that if I were ever locked up in solitary confinement, I'd be, no problem. If I were locked in solitary confinement for life, I'd be fine because I can entertain myself. My brain is, my entertainment center. Yeah. I don't need exterior stimuli in order to amuse myself. I can dream up things in my head and have those things just, amuse me. I laugh at some of the things I think about, which is a very fortunate thing. But see, I confuse this ability that I have. I project it out onto quiet girls and think that they have the same thing. But they don't. They're just quiet. They just don't have anything to say. And that's the point. See? You got to be aware of quiet girls. Okay? And I know it's like a weird thing to be focusing on. But I have to admit, in my own case, I wasted a lot of time with quiet girls. I wasted a lot of time and I pursued them relentlessly, even though sometimes they didn't want anything to do with me. They didn't particularly care for me, or precisely because they realized that I had such a rich interior life and they did not, they might have instinctively realized that we were a bad match, and we were. Every time I dated a quiet girl, it took me a while to realize it, but eventually I did realize it, that there was nothing there, that they were hollow. I kept with them because I was convinced, I had convinced myself that if I was only patient enough, eventually this magic door would open and she would reveal all of this rich interior life that she had. But the thing is, she didn't have it. Yeah, and I wasted my time and I was disappointed. Yeah, because, I failed to recognize that sometimes people are just boring. Simple as that. Sometimes a girl who's quiet and shy and doesn't have much to say, she's just boring. She's just tedious. She's just not worth your time. I mean, I think that what's going on is that you want everybody to be interesting in one way or the other. I think we all want the other people that we meet to have something going on for them. But a lot of times these quiet girls, there's nothing there. They're just dull as dishwater, yeah? And to try to find something within them that is really not there, it's foolish. I mean, it's sort of like dating a slut. You know some girl who's a slut, and you think to yourself, oh, well, she's